Welcome back, and now we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the fighter. This is the most basic class, and this is the one that if you just want to have combats be simple and straightforward, play the fighter. There's not a lot to think about with the fighter. Even the ones that do have a lot of decisions to make aren't that many. So, it also has its benefits of being the single best combat character that's we're going to have access to in early access. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy as we delve into So you might be asking, why would I want to be a fighter? I don't want to be a simpleton. Well, they're not simpletons. As it says here, they are well-rounded specialists. You're going to get a particular style of fighting and specialize in it, as well as still being good at all other types of fighting. You have all the armor proficiencies, you get shield proficiencies, proficient with all weapons, and abilities that train you and get you ready for danger. It makes you ready for a fight. Hence the name Fighter. So let's look at these abilities. You're getting a fighting style, second wind, and action surge, all in the first two levels. These are the things that make you great at fighting. Your martial archetype is your subclass, and then once again an ability score improvement at 4th, but then you're going to get it again at 6th, the only class that gets one at 6th, as well as the standard one at 8th. You're getting archetype features at 7th and 10th, and an extra attack at 5th. But the really important thing, even though I said 10th is the most we're going to cover, I want to look at 11th, which gives you one of the reasons to really be a fighter. You get an extra attack improvement, the only class in the game that does. So, let's look at the reasons to be a fighter. You're getting 10 hit points at first level, plus your con modifier, and an additional 6 if they take the average, plus your con modifier on all the additional ones. As I said before, you're getting all armor and shields, simple weapons and martial weapons, which is just simply all weapons. Strength and con saving throws, plus your 2 skills. You're getting chainmail, which is heavy armor starting out. Leather if you want to go the light route to pick up a longbow as well. You get a martial weapon and shield or 2 martial weapons. Once again, just setting you up for whatever type of fighting style you're going to choose. And a light crossbow with 20 bolts or 2 hand axes, so that you've always got a ranged option. Now, these fighting styles, archery is going to be for your ranged builds, defense and protection for your tanky builds, with defense increasing your own defense and protection, helping your allies be more defensive. Dueling and great weapon fighting are going to be your main go-tos, as well as 2-weapon fighting when it comes to dealing out extra damage, with 2-weapon fighting making the 2-weapon fighting standard rule better, as well as dueling making you do more damage on one-handed weapons, and great weapon fighting increasing your average damage with 2-handed weapons. Now, second wind gives you a heal that you do as a bonus action, and it's based off your fighter level plus a die roll. And then you get it back on a short rest. Action Surge just gives you another action for free. And once again, you get this back on a short rest. Now, we don't know too much about how short rests are going to work in the game. There was word that you possibly got one after every combat. But then there's also the camp feature. And we don't know if you go to the camp for any type of rest or only long rest. So if they give you a free short rest after every combat, Fighter is going to be one of the best classes in the game, since they'll constantly be getting their abilities back. Now we'll come back to the martial archetypes and ability score improvements. As I've said in previous videos, these are how you increase your ability scores and advance through the levels. And then when we get feats, you'll be able to take those instead. Extra attack whenever you use the attack option, you attack twice. And as I said before, with the 11th level ability, it becomes 3 times. Fighters push damage. It's what they do. And Indomitable lets them reroll a saving throw that they failed. So, this lets you just stay in the fight longer and do more of what you're designed to do. Now, the first of the subclasses we're going to look at is the Battle Master. This one has combat superiority, which is your superiority dice and the maneuvers that you use with them. And then you have Student of War giving you an artisan tool, but once again, we're going to have to see how this is going to come into effect. But let's look at our maneuvers. Now, maneuvers, normally, you get to roll your attack and then see if you want to do it. But we're going to look at all of these. And most of them, and I'll pick out some of the ones that don't, when you do this, your combat superiority die adds on to the damage roll. But you have things like Commander Strike here that let your allies attack instead of you. Disarming makes them drop an item. Really good for making them drop their weapon. Distracting makes it easier for people to hit that target. Evasive Footwork doesn't let you get extra damage, but increases your AC, so you can run by creatures without having to worry about that op attack, because your AC will be so high it'll be near impossible for you to get hit. Fainting makes it easier for you to hit, and if you do, you're going to get that extra damage. Goading makes it where the enemy's going to attack you. Lunging gives you that little bit of extra reach, and then Maneuver helps your allies maneuver around the battlefield. Menacing can frighten them and give you many benefits, just what the frightened condition does. They're not going to be moving around, they're going to have disadvantage to attack rolls. Makes for a great effect. Parry reduces your incoming damage. Precision is another one that increases your chances to hit, but this time instead of doing your superiority dies extra damage, you're adding on to your attack roll. Pushing lets you push enemies around the battlefield. Great for throwing them into traps. Rally is going to give temporary hit points to your allies, making them stay in the fight longer. Riposte, enemy attacks you and misses, you can strike back. Sweeping attack is going to be an interesting one, as it lets you cleave per se, but that extra die of damage is on the secondary target. Trip attack, knocking enemies prone. This one is great because this sets your allies up. You trip them, and then everyone comes and beats up on the damn person. Know your enemy. This one's going to be interesting to see, and may get changed because it's a little bit difficult to incorporate into the game, because it just gives you information about the enemy just for sitting there and studying them. And then at 10th level, you're getting an increase to what size the die is. Because when it starts out, it's a D8. 10th year, it becomes a D10. Now the second one we're going to look at is going to be the champion here. The champion is the most basic fighter. Improve critical. Straight up the best reason to be a champion. Normally you only crit on a 20. Champions crit on a 19 as well. Remarkable athlete gives you better rolls on your strength, dexterity, and con checks if you're not already proficient with them, by letting you add half your proficiency. It also gives you a better running long jump, so that's really good. At 10th, you're getting an additional fighting style, and they're the same fighting styles you got to pick from before, but this is really good if you're trying to do that tanky build that does a lot of damage, as you can take defense and dueling. Generally, it's great to just grab defense if you don't already have it, because you're getting that extra AC if you're wearing armor, period. And that's pretty much it for the fighter. So, looking forward, I'm expecting us to also see the Eldritch Knight, which is our fighter that gets to do casting. And then possibly the Purple Dragon Knight, which is more of a combat officer, help your ally build. But in the long run, our hopes is that all of these different options will make it into the game. Well, thank you for sitting here and looking at the fighter with us. Can't wait to see you next time. Enjoy, everyone.